Good morning. Welcome to ATI ProMedia. We have a lot of things to get through. This show is live and news breaks as we go. This is today's news today. Get ready. We had CPI. It was hot. We have Conab numbers. Interesting. Little discrepancy between what's going on in South America and the USDA. We have markets moving around. We're a little lower in corn, a little higher in beans. Wheat doing wheat things, trading up amazing yesterday. China canceled wheat for the third day in a row. What's wheat do? It says, I'll show you. Bing, it goes up. It was a wonderful thing. I told you guys on the show yesterday, I said, watch these markets. If you're short, don't think of it as a farmer who's long. Watch these markets. There's a giant short out there, and they're looking for these down days to cover, and they're not getting it. We're consistently, this is a buy the dip, sell the rip, but this is more of a buy the dip. Now, we did make that first notice day low. We have some other news. ADM was out with earnings. They came out telling a little, adjusting some numbers. The market liked it, actually. I believe ADM's trading up right now. We could look into that. They're adjusting their numbers. They're admitting that the FBI has been around. Oh, speaking of people with three-letter acronyms, I got to tell you, the Fed's in a pickle because with this hot PPI number or CPI number, PPI tomorrow, can the Fed really lower rates? They're taking some of that rate cut out of the scenario. Real quick, we went over all the three-letter words. Be careful with three-letter acronyms. We have FBI, CIA, FED, Department of Justice, DOJ, FDA, and of course, then you have ATI ProMedia. Where's that throw us? But don't worry, things get better when we move to four-letter acronyms. USDA, that's a trusted source. Connor B, welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, Tommy.
I'm all fired up. 2 cups
I
of
can
coffee
tell.
in, slept well. I'm ready to go. Hey, look at
Let's
that.
do it.
50 people already watching. Let's give them a good show, my friend.
Let's
What's on
do
the
it.
docket?
First thing I have CPI numbers, bigger than expected. Core month-on-month CPI 0.4% versus 3% last month. Year-on-year 3.8% versus 3.7%. Inflation up slightly 0.4 versus 0.3 last month. Year-on-year inflation 3.2 versus 3.1. Doesn't seem like big numbers, Tommy, right? We're talking 0.1 difference, but not what we wanted to see, right? We want inflation to be working lower. We want the Fed to cut rates. Last show we talked, or a couple shows ago, we talked about how the rate cut for June was 20. Was it 20%, Tommy?
About 30 back then, but they're backing it down a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Now with inflation still not going away, are we going to see a rate cut in 2024? That's my question.
Right. And we're not going into deflation. They're just saying we're lower than where we were a year ago when we're out of control. So here's my analogy for inflation. You have little kids, you've taken medicine. You know, when the doctor gives you like a 10-day prescription, and after day 6 or 7, you feel better and quit taking it, and 2 weeks later, you're sick? That is what inflation's like. The Fed had the ability to conquer inflation. Now, they didn't go full blown Volcker on us, which some people would say Volcker's a bad word. He said the Volcker word because if you lived through the 80s, Volcker, that was some serious. When he said he was going to squash inflation, oh boy, he did. Now, our Fed had the chance, but like we talked about, three-letter acronyms, election coming up, some crazy scenarios happening. To be continued. Like we're getting into election season, and every day is a different battle. Hey, speaking of election season, last night, doggone Rick got me watching this app. I can't think of what it is. I want to say Boingo, but it's not. I was watching Tucker Carlson and Como have a conversation. So you have the guy who got fired from Fox and the guy who got fired from CNN. 40,000 knuckleheads like myself watching a lot. I bet you they'd be pretty jealous if they saw we had 55 watching today, Connor B.
Absolutely.
And that
I
app
remember
called Rumble. Rumble. Download Rumble. ATI ProMedia will probably be on Rumble here in the next few months. You remember what, young man?
a month ago you said that the Fed, you thought they should have raised it one more time and they didn't. I thought you were crazy for saying that.
Oh,
Now
I know I'm crazy.
it looks a
Thank
little
you.
bit more true.
Yeah. Well,
So,
it's not squashed. So one more analogy for those sitting in the back of the room. Fire department comes, they put out the fire. 12 hours later, lady next door is like, you're not going to believe it. It's smoking again. They didn't put out the whole fire. They had a chance to squash it and they didn't. Now they have a conundrum because we're in election season. And don't forget about all the three-letter acronyms. those folks' checks are signed by the big guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Should we keep moving?
Moving and grooving, brother.
ADM earnings. We've had a lot of news in 2024 with ADM, right? Their CFO was put on administrative leave. Big problems in their Alliance Nutrition segment. That's where the issues were. Delayed earnings for a few months. They released them. They misses expectations on earning, and then also few of their employees have got subpoenaed, Tommy, by another three-letter acronym, the DOJ, Department of Justice. So we'll keep an eye on that and see where they get, if they're really going to get dinged with the earnings they were giving out to top executives for that nutrition segment, right? Small part of the business, but the one they really wanted to grow. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, if you only lie on one line of your taxes, are you really? It may only been a small line, but they all matter, right? ADM stock up 5% right now, trading 57.40. Give you a little color. Where was ADM 6 months ago? It had a high around 80, went all the way down to lower 50s. It's on the mend. Hey, I have a lot of friends, folks who work at ADM. You worked at ADM. We
Yep.
have a lot of friends in the business who clear ADM. I'm pretty confident, 99% sure, no money back guarantee, but I think business is good with that side. This was a little cooking of the books, and I got to say, this is not the first time uh, ADM added 2 bunches of salt to this recipe when the recipe book only said one. So that's the problem, that there's a trust issue when it's not if, it's when this is going to happen again, or why did this happen, or who's in charge, right? How do you let numbers like this go by so big? Hey, one thing I forgot to say on the opening, Tyson closing a hog plant. Tony Dunker will talk about that in a few days. She's our hog expert. She's an expert on a lot of things, but she really knows hogs. I don't have much to say about it, but I do have something to say about the market. Since we started, corn up a half, beans up 6, wheat up 7, cattle up, feeders up, hogs down a little. Didn't affect that too much in the June hogs. Interest rates going up because of CPI. Stock market trading both sides. Dow's been down 100, up 100. Back to you.
Yeah. Only color I'll add on this Tyson plant. You hate to see it. 1,200 workers are going to be out of a job come June, Tommy. Not what we want to see. Tyson, not good earnings, right? They've closed a lot of chicken plants. I think this is the first pork plant, at least the first one I can remember in recent memory. And just a fun stat, not a fun stat, but 2% of pork production came out of this plant.
Okay.
So we're
And
closing.
take where we were, giving you a little feedback. 4 years ago today, we were shutting down America. The Board of Trade and the Merck floor closed 4 years ago, 2 days ago. And we were actually a few weeks after that. That's when we couldn't keep the workers healthy enough to even open the plant. So we had, there was actually several cases of where hogs were, how do you say it, euthanized. And that was a horrible situation. So fast forward, here we are 4 years ahead. Now we're closing plants. We didn't have enough plants and workers to
Right.
process what we have. I wonder if someday we'll tie Prop 12 into this decision, my friend.
Yeah. Yep. I think so. So moving right along, Tommy. Conab numbers, right? Big. We are way outside, or not way, we were outside the analyst estimations. Pull that chart up, Joe. And so looking at that, corn production out of Brazil, 112.75. Low end of the estimates was 113. Soybean production at 146. The low end was 147. We had a USDA report out Friday, and what they said for Brazil corn and soybean production, right? They punted, they didn't change it. But here's something we've talked about it a lot. Cesar Cruz, our head of research, has kept us in the loop on it. But what is amazing to me, Tommy, is the discrepancy that continues to build from what Conab says we have in Brazil versus what our USDA says. And speaking of your acronyms, right? Conab, I think that's an acronym. 5 letters, more acronyms mean it's more trouble. I don't know. But look at this chart. What we're seeing is the past 10 years, right? Going back to 2011, we were very close. Conab and USDMers were right in line, a few discrepancies. And then the past 3 years, we have seen that continue to build the difference. And right now on soybean production, we are 8.1 million metric ton different from what Conab is saying versus the USDA. On corn, it is even greater, Tommy. Right now, with this new report, right, they widened the gap. I kind of thought maybe we'd work closer, but it hasn't happened yet. 11.25 million metric ton different from what the USDA and Conab saying. I had to convert that to bushels. 400, my back of the napkin math, 440 million bushel difference from what Conab and the USDA says we have in Brazil.
Let's take a little break. You wrap that up so good. I think we need an ad. ATI Pro Media is live, and I have an ad I'm going to click. Welcome to ATI Pro Media, powered by Advanced Trading. We're a financial channel that loves agriculture. For just $1 a day, you'll receive advanced trading research, actionable text, and a minimum of 6 videos a week featuring industry experts and insight. Click the button below to subscribe today. Lions and Tigers. Oh my. Hey, speaking of handsome alert, you know who was on the show yesterday? Conab himself, talking crop insurance. Give us a little, for the folks who didn't subscribe yet, give them a little sneak peek of what you talked about, my friend.
Well, Tommy, you and I, we don't sell crop insurance. We're not in the space, but we look at it constantly. So I thought you and I should have a conversation, give our perspective about when we're making that crop insurance decision, making sure we're tying it in with the marketing plan and we're looking at all different avenues. And so I think that's what we did. I thought it was a great conversation. Really, I always try and look at it. The crop insurance, what it is, it's a government protecting revenue. It is a government subsidized put, and we need to look at it intertwined as a whole marketing plan. And so that's what we did. We had a conversation about
Great job. Do me a favor. Take your right hand, put it on your left shoulder, 2 taps, please. Do it. That avoid 2 taps. You did a great job. Hey, speaking of 2 taps, Scott the Cow Guy, we filmed something yesterday, and he broke down what he thought could happen with CPI, PPI, and everything else. Went about 8-9 minutes. That's an example. Every day we release that premium content around 4 o'clock. We're just getting our feeling here on how this is going to go, but you're getting research in the morning at about 6, video at 4, text on actionable alerts. Okay, a couple questions. We got to end the show. We have work to do. Nutrien is one of our biggest ag retailers around here. Stock is near a 2-year low. I had time to pull it up. Nutrien trading 53.51. I'm not registered as a Series 7 stockbroker, but I have a 401k and I have an account to trade stocks. Nutrien's a player. I mean, they are the fertilizer. Let me read a headline that came out the other day. Just different headlines. Go ahead.
It's funny, Brett, you're not the first one to mention the correlation between, looking at farm stocks, ag stocks, John Deere, Nutrien, right? What are some other ones, Tommy?
Sure, I have them right here because when you look up one stock, it pulls the other. Mosaic, Bunge, other ones like that.
Bayer.
So Bayer, yeah, oh boy. Yeah, they had a little problem over there. So Bayer bought Monsanto, and Bayer is now worth less than what they paid for Monsanto, or at least that's what it was 6 months ago. Horrible story. Will go down in the college books as a rut row. Hey, speaking of rut rows, anything else?
No, I think we wrapped it up. Let's get out of here, Tommy. If anyone wants to give us a call,
give me a second. I want to hit the right button. We had a little incident yesterday. Conor B,
give us a call. Send us an email if you got any questions. We'll be doing this again tomorrow. I think we'll have Brady talking a little cattle, and I think with that, we'll see everyone tomorrow.
See you, bye.
Thanks for joining us. We're here every day, 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.